YouTube, it's your boy Estefanos, and I'm back with a new video. Well, I said I would make more videos and be consistent, so here I am. I'm back with another video. So, like I said, I had to take a bit of a break because I had some stuff going on. But now that I'm back, it's time to change things up a bit. Like I said, I've been talking about, I've been talking about like my fan fictions that I love making. So I decided, since I talked about my Spider-Man, like my Spider-Man universe, I think it's time to talk about a different series I've been working on. My own Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles franchise. It's called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Half-Shell Heroes. And it of course follows Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael, Michelangelo battling ninjas, mutants, aliens, and going on insane adventures, and not just in New York City, but across dimensions, and even going as far as to even Gotham, since they have crossed over with Batman in the comics and in the 2019 Batman vs. TMNT movie. So yeah, so that's what we're going to be discussing about today. But first, make sure you guys like, comment, and as always, subscribe, and share this video with your friends who like Spider-Man, TMNT, Ninja Turtle, with the all shebang. Let's all have a discussion. And who's your favorite Ninja Turtle? Even though I already asked that in my last Ninja Turtles video. But it's fun to keep it up. But yeah. But also we're on the road to get to 100 subscribers by the summer. I believe we can do it. Even though that it takes time, But hey, we can. Success is a team goal. You can't just rely on one person. You have to rely on multiple people. But yeah. And also go follow my Instagram and share some love. Give me ideas. Give me suggestions on YouTube videos you want to see, and eventually I might get to them. But with that all the way, let's go. So I've planned to make multiple Ninja Turtle shows, and I plan to make spin-offs and even my own movies. Like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle crossover with Batman, of course, and the Ninja Turtles versus the Krang movie, and also my own version of the rivalry between Splinter, Hamato Yoshi, and the Shredder, Orokusaki. And so for this, I want to take inspiration from other signs of media. My most notable inspiration is probably Transformers 1, the TMNT 2012 series, bits of the 1990 movie, and Rise of the TMNT. And also, I want to like bring multiple iterations together, keep the familiarity with it, but also put my own flair to it, So everyone of many ages and generations who grew up with the Ninja Turtles can see the love be put into it, And then we're gonna come up with a Ninja Turtles Ninja Apocalypse storyline, which is gonna be based on like the Last Ronin, basically, and like follows the Turtles battling, where I've created my own character. I'm planning to create my own characters in this universe. Like, I've come up with Shredder having a son who's taken over the Foot Clan. So yeah, and he's just as skilled as his father. And my recent movie that I have just come up with is called Turtle Time Paradox, which is going to be based upon the DCU animated movie Flashpoint Paradox. And it's gonna be kind of like Turtles Forever, where they're gonna team up with other versions of the Turtles team up with other versions of themselves to stop a common threat. But yeah, so but like those are like the side projects I plan to make. The main projects I'm focusing on are so to start it off, I come up with my own Ninja Turtle show where like we get to learn about who this version of the turtles are, like why they are the way they are, and like see a familiar story, but also be changed a lot. Because let's face it, I feel like the turtles always are having the same story told. They go up to New York for the first time. They meet their first human ally, April O'Neil, and then they start fighting bad guys. And then they get the attention of the Shredder, who then discovers that the turtles were trained by Splinter, who is actually Hamato Yoshi. And then it starts this whole war against them. And it goes on for multiple seasons until the turtles finally find a way to defeat the Shredder. But that doesn't mean the story's over, because the turtles don't just have Shredder as the main enemy. They have multiple enemies. Literally some enemies that are just as powerful as the Shredder. The Triceratons, the Krang, what's it called? The Foot Clan has taken many leaders. The Purple Dragons, and many more. So the first show will be titled Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Tales of the Half-Shell Heroes, and will have 6 seasons. And the show will take inspiration from the other Ninja Turtles adaptations, but like I want to keep the familiarity, as I said, but also put my own feel, you know. And each season will like follow its own storyline, basically, but also help expand their universe. And then I plan to make a spin-off show called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Half-Shell Heroes Mystic Mutants, which sends them outside of their universe and into an alternate timeline, which is the universe of Miyamoto Usagi, the Samurai Rabbit, also known as the Ronin Rabbit. And they're gonna be there to master mystic abilities to help them take on this demon race called the Tengu. So the turtles have to learn to overcome not just their mental blocks, but overcome their weaknesses, become the highest versions of themselves, so they can defeat this powerful enemy, and then they're gonna be able to master their mystic abilities, and they'll learn that this is where. Okay, I'm not gonna spoil too much, because then again, I want to like keep the tension, but I did that with the Arachneman show, the Arachneman franchise. But yeah. And then they're gonna come back, and this is like the current show I'm focusing on. It's called Mutant Gangland War, which is gonna be like have like a Daredevil feel, you know. I want the turtles to like, when they come back and face when they come back to their New York, it doesn't feel like the same New York that they've grown up, and it feels like it's been turned into a wasteland, a battlefield, a war zone, and so they have to battle an upcoming crime lord, basically, their own version of Kingpin, which is called the Dawn. And throughout this series, the turtles are gonna make even more enemies, make new allies, and often face betrayals. And the show's gonna get quite dark. Like the series in general is gonna be dark, has its dark moments, like each TMNT franchise iteration. But yeah, trust me, this gets dark real fast. And right now, even though I'm not working on it like immediately, I'm planning to like make my own version of Miyamoto Usagi's origin. I'm gonna come up with a spin-off show for him. Yeah, I know that there's one been created called Samurai Rabbit: The Usagi Chronicles, but I'm gonna do it in a way where it's gonna be familiar to it, but it's also gonna have a different feel to it. You know what I mean? Still fresh, have original takes, but also add something new to it. That's what I'm trying to do. And of course, my favorite character is Leo. So not just Leo, I want to focus on giving the turtles their own episode. For example, I have an episode titled Leonardo and the Lightning Sword, or Raph's Revenge, or Donnie the Purple Dragon, or the Mighty Michelangelo. Each turtle gets their own episode so they can overcome their weaknesses and become better versions of themselves and prove to each other. Because I feel as though like Mutant Mayhem did it really good, where the turtles have always been together in previous iterations. but in the TV, even though this takes place after Mutant Mayhem, in the show for the first half of season 1, the Turtles are split up, and I love how the first 6 episodes develop the characters. There's an episode on Leo, feeling like he's nothing without his brother, since he feels like he can be a true leader when he's leading a team. Mikey has to learn to be more responsible and take things seriously. And Raph has to learn to use his wits instead of his fists, because he's a hothead. He always likes to punch first and ask questions later. And I will admit, his episode in that series was probably one of the weaker episodes, since he was still kind of the same after. But yeah. And then Donnie learns to use his wit. He learns to use things other than his brains. Because if you know Donatello, he really loves being an inventor and a scientist, which is good, don't get me wrong. But to me, is like, I feel like one of the reasons why a lot of people say Donnie is the weakest turtle is because he focuses too much on like coming up with strategies instead of actually fighting. In the 2012 series, for example, he had to learn that you can't fight. You have to learn to fight without thinking. You can't just think. You have to do, because if you keep thinking, that gives your opponent an advantage. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to do with my version. Expand each character. And also, what's it called? It's kind of hard though to like give the human characters episodes, because I'm not really too concerned of the human characters outside of Splinter originally being a human, and then Shredder is technically human, for now at least. And then Casey Jones is like the only character I can really like help expand on why he's a vigilante. Because if you all know the Ninja Turtles, you gotta know that Casey Jones is like basically the human version of Raph. He's a vigilante who likes to wipe the streets of evil and isn't afraid to get his butt beat. But to me, as though April O'Neil, even though she's it depends on the iteration. In the 1987 series, she was more of a damsel in distress. I'm sorry. In the 2003 series, she was not really a predominant character. Like, she did appear when the story needed her, but she didn't really do anything outside. Like, she did help, but like, I don't know. To me, the 2012 series did a lot with April's character. It went from her being connected to the Krang, having telekinesis powers, and then becoming a kunoichi, a female ninja, and helping the turtles on their missions. Rise April is not a myth. I like what they did with her. She's not a bad April, don't get me wrong. But I just prefer the other ones, if that makes sense. But I do like what they did with the Mutant Mayhem version. And also, I just don't get why people hate on April being black. And they're like, oh, that's not April, she was always white. What? No. Even though I don't read comics, I found out that April wasn't always white. And the same thing with Baxter Stockman. Like, the only one, the 1987 series is the only one to have him white. But from then on, he's been black. But I just hate this whole, oh, that's not comic accurate, when it was literally in the comics. I just don't get it. But yeah. It honestly doesn't make sense sometimes, really. So yeah, that's basically like the rundown of the whole series, of the franchise per se. And the first show will have 6 seasons, and then the second show will have 5 seasons. The third show will have 4 seasons, and I'm still figuring out if this Usagi show should have 5 or 6. Maximum should be 5 in my opinion, but I might think of at least adding 6, maybe. But it depends on what kind of story I'm still trying to figure out. And before any of you say that I'm obsessed with these characters, obsessed, you can't really blame me, because these are characters that I've actually grown up with. I grew up watching the TMNT, the 2012 series. It has the best intro in my opinion. it had the perfect like physique and design of the turtles. They felt like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's what they felt like. And what else? I love the lore that was built in this series, and that although that it wasn't like, it's not the best consistent show at times, but it's still quite enjoyable. And it gets dark. Like, trust me, when this show gets dark, what I mean by dark, like, it gets dark. People get stabbed. People get disintegrated. But by season 4 and 5, it's nothing. No one's safe anymore. Like, that's how bad it gets. And keep in mind, this was a Nickelodeon show. Everyone thought the 2003 series was dark, but nah. I will say though, the 2003 intro goes hard. It's the second best intro in my opinion. 2012 and 2003 are the second best intros. And of course, I say Leo is the most underrated turtle. Everyone loves to say Mikey is the best because he's the most relatable. Mikey may be the most relatable, and that's cool. But to me, Leo gets disrespected a lot. Like, I'm just giving my opinions out. That's literally that's it. The fact that everyone says he's the lame one, like they literally called him Leonardo in the 2012 series, and now they're calling him Leonardo. Like wow, that's actually crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I get it. Being the leader can be seen like, oh, you're just a know-it-all. You're a goody-goody. Trust me, I get it. It gets annoying, but like to me, it's like you need to have boundaries at times. You know, if you don't have boundaries, then there'll be chaos all the time. And that's what Leo stands by. He still breaks the rules from time to time, and he's always there for his brothers. But the thing though is that everyone wants him to be like that all the time. When Leo understands what honor is, he has honor and loyalty. But the funny thing is, his brothers always butt heads with him because they think, oh, you just want us to fight like you. But the whole point is to find the best way that works for us. And I like that because Leo focuses too much on trying to be the best and have impossible expectations that he puts on himself. He wants to be the best leader out there. And that's like what I love about him. And that's someone I'm trying to be myself. I can be like that sometimes. But that's what I love about him. He's the most relatable. But I will say this. For my series, I'm changing it up. Instead of it always being Leo and Raph that have butt heads, it's going to be different. I'll say that now. But anyways, that's going to wrap up today's video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. You all know the drill. And let me know in the comments which Ninja Turtles show I've come up with or movies are you interested to see or want to ask questions about. Let's have a discussion. And comment down below who's your favorite character in all of TMNT. And as always, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Hope you all have a good day. Take care. And peace.